Sometimes when I travel, I find the best experiences are the ones I least expected. We're in Loretto, Baja California Sur. It might not be the busiest destination on the Baja Peninsula, but it is one of the oldest. The Spanish built Mission Loretto here in 1744. For a tiny fishing village, Loretto has a lot to offer. I'm getting a little history. The clams have been made for centuries.
Before the Spanish, as a matter of fact, the Indians left their shells.
A gigantic burrito.
Whoa!
And something completely unexpected. I found the best pizza in all of the Baja Peninsula.
Buon appetito.
In my kitchen, I'm inspired by the Sea of Cortez. Grilled calamari, cannellini bean, and radicchio salad. Crunchy, cheesy, jalapeno garlic bread. Ridiculously packed with flavor. And a to die for spicy clam and chorizo pasta. From the bottom up, it's just one delicious mess.
Dame tu piloncillo, dame café caliente, dame tu corazón.
Loretto, Baja California Sur. Just a few square miles of quiet cobblestone streets right on the gorgeous Sea of Cortez. More than halfway down the eastern coast of the Baja Peninsula, one of those places where everything seems to slow down. I'm gonna give you a little behind the scenes of television production here. This is our wonderful production crew. Dave, Alex, Kevin, and James. When we travel together through Mexico, everything we film has been planned and scheduled way before we get here. But my favorite food experience in Loretto was completely unplanned. It was actually at our hotel restaurant. Something so good, we threw our plans out the window just so we could film it. I think I found the best pizza in all of the Baja Peninsula right here in Loretto. This pizza is unbelievable. Claudio.
Yes.
¿Cómo está?
Bien, grazie.
Pati.
Grazie. Mucho gusto.
Where did you come from, Claudio?
Italy, yes.
Italy. Where in Italy?
Italia è un bat, no?
Sì.
Ok. Roma.
Sì.
Napoli.
Sì. Claudio.
Mi house. Yeah. Okay.
Everybody in my production team was telling me about the pizza, and Dave, who is the sound guy of our production team. And he lived in Italy many years, and all I needed to hear from Dave was good pizza.
Mucha harina.
Le vas haciendo huequitos.
Huequitos, come así. Questo è il tomato per la pizza. Tiene aceite d'oliva, origano e un pochino di sal. Questa qua è la mozzarella.
Ya.
Carne di cerdo.
Ok.
Mettiamo un pochettino di parmigiano reggiano.
¿Cuánto tiempo está en el horno?
2 minuti e mezzo.
Solo 2 minutos y medio, eso es
sì,
todo.
Todos.
¿A cuánto está el horno? Like,
L'horno
how many
sta
degrees?
a 360 grados.
Ah, almost 700 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay, you can't make it at home. No. ¿Dónde aprendiste a hacer pizza?
In Italia.
En Italia.
Sì, tenevo un ristorante in Italia.
¿Tú tenías un
Con la mia
restaurante?
famiglia, sì, con la mia famiglia.
¿Tu familia tiene ese
Teneva
restaurante de muchas generaciones o solo
No,
tus
dalla
papás?
generazione di mio papà. È pronta la pizza. Questa è la pizza.
See, Mexicans love pizza, but it has to be just packed with flavor. Okay?
Beh, buon appetito.
Huh?
Good?
Claudio, whoa! If you're Claudio, making pizza all day, staring out at that sparkling Sea of Cortez, it's only natural that you get inspired. Juicy shrimp and tender scallops.
E questa è la pizza, frutti di mare.
Claudio, ¿tú te has encontrado con más gente de otros lados del mundo?
De todo il mondo. Ci stanno muchos americanos che vivono aquí.
Sì.
Sì, è molto turistica e speciale. È un'eterna primavera, si dice in Italia.
This one is the other one. Ah, that's the crunchiest shrimp ever. You were right.
I hate to say I told you so.
I can hold the camera for you guys. Hey, I love these.
Yum, 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 yum.
You know, Baja is so full of surprises, and I so love that Italian pizza. It inspired me to combine Mexican with Italian, which in Mexico we do all the time. So I'm gonna start with a grilled calamari salad. I love calamari because they're chewy, and I adore eating chewy foods. The important thing when cooking calamari is that you pat them dry really, really, really well because they have a lot of water. And when you grill them, they let out all of that water. I'm going to simply season them with salt and pepper. Italian calamari with Mexican spices, upgrade. And I have my indoor grill here set on high. I'm gonna add some olive oil. The great thing about grilling versus sauteing calamari that is not breaded is that all the liquid that the calamari is exuding goes in the little grill channel. So that's helping you out. Okay, you see how the calamari puffed up? That's exactly what you want. If we were sauteing it, you would have the water all over the place, and instead of grilling and charring the calamari, it would be steaming the calamari. Now I'm gonna make my vinaigrette. To start, I'm gonna heat up some olive oil in a pan over medium heat. Now I'm gonna cook 3 things in that olive oil: chile de árbol, garlic, and pistachios. So I'm gonna start by slicing 4 chiles de árbol. And we don't want to remove the seeds because they're so delicious, and when they toast or fry, they get even better. But I'm not gonna start adding the chile de árbol first because the chile de árbol, the garlic, and the pistachios are just as delicate when they hit the oil, and I don't want any to burn. Just look at these 3 ingredients. You're gonna have the deep nuttiness of the pistachio, and then you're gonna have the slowly fried taste of garlic and the chile de árbol, which is so nice and smoky. This is looking so beautiful. I can see them transforming. The deeper red of the chile de árbol is just blooming. And now we're gonna add a gorgeous lemon. And I'm just gonna slice it in half. I'm just gonna drop it in there. So it's gonna be lemony, smoky, a little spicy. And now I'm gonna take out the pistachio, the chile de árbol, the garlic. And now I'm gonna turn off the heat, and I'm gonna leave the lemons in there because they can keep on flavoring the oil. I have my grill that's still over medium-high heat. I'm gonna add a little bit more oil, and I'm gonna grill a small head of radicchio. So I'm gonna cut it into 4, and I'm gonna add a little bit more oil to them now that I cut them. And I'm gonna add some salt, pepper. We're going for this charred, rustic taste, transforming the ingredients that we're using. And I have 2 endives, an ingredient that my mom loves. She used to make a lot of endive salads when I was growing up. I'm gonna add some oil, salt. I don't wanna completely cook and soften them all the way throughout. I just wanna char the outside, but I want the inside to still be firm and crunchy. How good does this look? We're going to build that vinaigrette, and the base is gonna be this olive oil. I'm gonna squeeze this transformed lemon in here. Look at all the juice. We're gonna add about 2 tablespoons of red wine vinegar. some salt, the pistachios and the chile de árbol and the garlic. And then I have some cannellini beans. I have about a cup. I'm gonna let them sit here in this super tasty vinaigrette so that they start marinating in there too. We're just gonna add all these calamari. This really is Italian Mexico coming together. I'm gonna chop a little bit of cilantro. And here we go. A little bit of everything. It's spicy, it's feisty, but then it wraps your mouth with that cooked lemon flavor and the crunch of the pistachio, and the calamari are chewy, but they're nice and charred on the outside. Look at the radicchio. Bitter, but now the bitterness has been tamed by the grilling and by the vinaigrette. And the cannellini beans are just like a smooth, earthy layer. From the bottom up, it's just packed with Mexitalian flavors. In Loretto, being a seaside town, there's no end to delicious plates of the catch of the day. Walking around this part of the Baja Peninsula, you see a lot of signs with this word, super burro. What is a super burro, you ask? Take a gigantic flour tortilla, fill it with at least a pound of meat, and what have you got? It's a super burro. ¿Qué es tu logo? So I see the donkey, and he's wearing the Superman suit, and he's going like this. So I'm gonna see if it's like this. Lucero and her family have been running Asadero El Super Burro for 15 years. ¿Y de dónde nace Super Burro?
Fue una idea de mi papá.
Ah, so this was something that your dad has started. Tú haces...
Yo hago...
She makes her own flour tortillas. I see we're making a really big tortilla. Arrachera is like a very thin skirt steak, but it comes marinated. Okay. Sí. Hijo, super juicy. Se ve perfecta.
Sí.
¿Qué queso usas?
Monterrey.
Monterrey Jack.
Muy bien.
3 things.
Sí.
Fabulous meat, cheese with personality, melted until it crisps, and your flour tortilla, que no he probado. Ok, chicharrón.
Chicharrón.
Porque te lo vas a comer conmigo, Timmy. ¿Por qué no lo echamos a todo?
Muy bien. El guacamole.
Con la salsita mexicana, la cebollita.
Porque vamos a compartir.
Sí. ¿Una persona se lo come todo?
Teníamos un cliente que se comía 2.
No. Wow. This really is a burrito like no other burrito I've tasted. Your dad, he'd be so proud.
Gracias.
Pizza from Italy. Gigantic burritos. Both delicious, but they're just new cravings here. To really understand Loretto, we need to go back in time. We need to go to the beach. This is so beautiful. This is the Chocolata Clam, named for its gorgeous color. They have been made for centuries, like before the Spanish came, right?
Yes, before the Spanish. As a matter of fact, there are different concheros. Concheros is where the Indians left their shells there.
Okay.
They eat the clams.
So the Chocolata clams are just from this region, right?
Oh, it's the treasure of Loretto, definitely.
Definitely. So people
yeah,
come...
because only this kind is on this side, in front of Loretto. If you go to La Paz or Cabo San Lucas, it's a different flavor and sizes and colors.
People have been cooking these clams here for thousands of years. One of the oldest techniques is still one of the best. Our cooking area is right here on the beach, in a small patch of gravel. Raul is teaching me the method for burying them. You only want to see just a tiny bit of the top, and then you stop. They're topped with a dried out herbal bush and lit on fire. It's very interesting. As you move through the Mexican Republic, you find regional cuisines that bury and cook food, pero it's the first time that I see that the fire is on top. But also what is gonna let them cook is that the rocks are gonna be so hot, no?
Exactly. Okay, Pati, ready to try? Okay, grab one and just go like this.
Yeah.
And voila.
Hiciste tatemadas. It's charred. What's in the sauce?
Mayonnaise, mustard, some jalapeno juice, salt, and pepper.
Mmm. Mmm.
See?
Mmm. It's very smoky and very meaty.
I'm glad you like it.
I love the taste.
Here is the old paper plate.
And it's your edible plate.
Definitely.
Está para usted. Doesn't get more bare bones than this. It's the clams from the region, the food of generations, and there's a reason why people continue to do it. So,
Exactly.
¡Ya se lo acabó! ¡Qué rico! In keeping with the fabulous Mexitalian theme, I'm going to make the most extraordinary spicy clam chorizo pasta. So I have 5 dozen little neck clams. They're tiny, they're cute, they're adorable. Just look at the colors. They're really, really briny. I have my casserole set over medium-high heat. And I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of olive oil. So I'm just cutting my chorizo a little bit smaller because when the chorizo cooks in the pan, it wants to stick back together. Anything that gets chorizo added to it gets a boost of flavor. When you're adding chorizo, you're really adding like a rainbow, a palette of flavors. Okay, so as it fries, I'm going to cut about a cup of white onion. And I need to take my chorizo out because as you can see, it's already browned. That is what we want, these crispy bites of bold flavor. I'm gonna add a couple tablespoons of more olive oil. And then in this delicious fat, I'm gonna start browning my onion. This is also a newish dish at home. I started playing with the idea of chorizo and clams together in some spicy tomato sauce the moment I got back from Baja. I'm gonna add 5 garlic cloves and 3 chiles de árbol. And now that these softened, I'm going to deglaze my pan, which is I want to get all the flavor from the pan, and I also want to create some liquid for the clams to cook in. So I'm going to open up a beer, and I'm going to pour 1 cup. And I'm going to raise my heat to medium-high. Half a teaspoon of salt. We just want this beer to start simmering. And the moment I start seeing a strong simmer, which is right now, I'm gonna add my 5 dozen little neck clams. I'm gonna reduce the heat to low. And now the clams are gonna steam in here in that deliciously flavored beer. And I have salted boiling water, and I'm gonna cook 1 pound of spaghetti for about 10 minutes. After 6 or 7 minutes, the clams are ready. And they are all open. And the ones that just don't open, you have to discard because you don't want to eat those. And some clams may have already fallen off of their shells, and that's fine because they're gonna go in your sauce. And now we're gonna raise the heat to high. I'm gonna add a 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes. Then I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. so even more tomatoey. And then I'm gonna add a teaspoon of honey. The honey really gives it an incredible sweet edge. Now that it's starting to simmer and bubble, I'm gonna reduce the heat to low. I'm gonna cover, and I'm gonna let this season and thicken for about 10 minutes. To go with this pasta, I'm gonna make some garlic jalapeno cheesy bread, which is gonna be yum. To start, I'm gonna mince 2 cloves of garlic and the jalapeno. We're gonna add 4 tablespoons of unsalted butter, and we're just gonna mash it with a fork. Then I'm gonna add half a teaspoon salt. And here I have a cup of grated Munster cheese. And then I have a cup of grated Oaxaca cheese. And 1 cup of cotija cheese, which is nice and salty and stronger. Baguette, nice and crusty. I'm gonna cut it in half so that it fits nicely in my baking sheet. And then I'm gonna cut slices, but I'm gonna go just 3/4 in. We're gonna take that jalapeno garlic butter, and we're gonna spread some in between the slices. So when this melts, the butter is gonna go into the mushy soft side, but also the crust. So now we're gonna do the same thing with the cheeses. Just like you can play with the flavors in your butter, you can play with the kinds of cheeses. How incredible does this look? And it's not even melted. My oven is at 450, and I'm gonna put this in there for about 20 minutes. I am shelling like 4/5 of the clams, which means 4 dozen out of the 5 dozen of the clams. And you can see how much it is. It is not much at all. That is because these clams are tiny, but they're packed with flavor. But that's why you wanna get 5 dozen or 6 dozen, because you want a lot of that clam flavor. And I'm saving these on the shells because they're gonna look so pretty. It smells so beautiful and delicious. So now I'm gonna finish the sauce. What I wanna do is I'm gonna put back the chorizo that we browned. And then I'm adding the clams that I quickly shelled. It's gonna be a very chunky sauce. And then I'm gonna add the pasta, the clams that are still on the shell, and their juices. Ah, just look at these. Here we go. Fresh cilantro. Look at this cheesy bread. So ridiculously packed with flavor. The outside is so crunchy, but inside it's so buttery, and it has that fresh bite of the jalapeno and the garlic. The tomato sauce is so rich in flavor, but it's very light in consistency. And the clams added a lot of that briny taste to the sauce, but it's not overpowering. And the chorizo has infused everything with that Mexican seasoning, and the chile de árbol gives it an extra kick. And it's so much fun when I put the Mex and the Italian together in my kitchen. Is one delicious mess.